TV Circles with the weekly update on March the 29th. So this correction, actually when looking back, it really has confused me quite sometimes. Like back here, this bounce here made me think, oh, is the bounce coming early? And then I was waiting for the bounce. Oh, it has to begin here, but no, then we flushed all the way down and pretty much took out the downside potential from this double top. And then finally we got the bounce, and then it got bigger and longer than I kind of expected, although I saw it as a possibility. And I started to wonder, is it a V bottom? I really couldn't believe that, but well, market likes to confuse you. But finally we got the C down, or we are kind of in the middle of it, and we should complete it this coming week with a double low, or most likely a bit lower low. I don't expect us to have a deep capitulation below the previous low, although it is possible, but I don't think it's the most likely outcome. So let's zoom out a little bit just to recapitulate about the context and for new viewers. I see a 28-year cycle going back over 200 years. This is the inflation adjusted S&P. I also see a 56-year cycle, and the current 28-year cycle, we see we are at the top of this trend channel, and the cycle is pretty much bearish for the next 10 years. But it's not bearish all the time, because we have the 3.5-year cycle. Here we are comparing to the 1970s analog, which I think is very relevant. And this analog is suggesting downside into around spring 2026. So for another year or so, then we should have another big bull market, and then bull, bear, bull, bear. And we have the, let's see, oh, where is it? There. The 3.5-year cycle is here in red. We are still in this yellow topping part of the cycle, and it is soon becoming or entering the really bearish part into around spring or summer 2026. If the market really gets a bearish behavior, it could extend into the end of 2026 and even a bit into 2027. So we have to see about that, but generally we are following my rough scenario, and soon I'm expecting a bounce and then a continued downtrend. Also, I often like to bring up some new stuff. Well, this one cycle is not completely new, but it's an interesting cycle of 73.5 weeks. I think this one is often referred to as the, let's see, it has to be the 18-month cycle, I think. So let's have a quick look at the performance. See, it missed the 2009 low by a little bit, and it also expected some weakness here around the flash crash 2010, and it was a nice hit on the 2011 low, and this low in 2012, late 12, was a little bit earlier than the cycle low, and we see something going on here at this cycle low, and it did hit the bear market low in 2016 January, it looks like. When the market is in the middle of a bull market, we hardly see any reaction to this cycle, but then we have a hit here, and the cycle works again at the COVID crash, and then we see when we are in the very bullish part, we hardly see anything. This is what I would call the two cycles merging into one. I think others refer it to as a straddle top. But anyway, we see this next cycle low. Well, it missed by a couple of months, I think. And we had a low previous fall around August. The next low is late this year, and then it is into 2027. So yeah, we have to see about that. I think that's a bit too early for a low, in my opinion. But yeah, we have to respect this cycle as well. Many cycles. We also, shorter term, have the 17-week cycle, and we are following my scenario here. My interpretation is you cannot just look at the cycles, because the market tends to oscillate in 10-week oscillations or 10 to 12-week oscillations, and I'm not quite sure if what is that. Is it just a market? What do you call it? The market somehow likes this oscillation. I don't know why. Is it a cycle or? Anyway, I think we are approaching such oscillation low, and then we should begin another one, making a shoulder, and the next oscillation low will be a little bit later than the cycle low, around June. It's a bit similar to the situation over here. Here we see we had a 10-week oscillation low here just after the cycle top, similar to what we have today. We are approaching a 10-week oscillation low just after the cycle top. And the next 10-week oscillation should or could be bearish, meaning we have a lower shoulder, like back here. So I have to speed up a little bit here. We have my daily wavelets and my primitive finding market low tool, and using the bear market rectangle, or I should say bearish, yeah, we're using bear market rules. This the rectangle is suggesting we are getting very close to a market low. However, my scenario based on a group of historical analogs is giving me, this colored band here, and it has a low this coming week. It is suggesting we could indeed go much deeper this coming week, so we have to be open-minded. So regarding timing, sometime Wednesday to Friday, I would say, is my preferred timing for a low, and then we should have a bumpy ride the next weeks, making some kind of a shoulder, and then we turn down into June, I think. And shorter term, this is the Dow Jones hourly data, and I had 3 scenarios. These 3, either a short bounce and a double low, or the longer bounce and some kind of a double low, or it was the V bottom rally. And it was indeed the bigger bounce, and now we are headed down. Here we have some actual analogs, not some average, and these 2 analogs are suggesting a low around next Friday, in 1 week's time. So a low on Monday, Tuesday, a bounce around Wednesday, and down Thursday, Friday, something like that. There's some news coming next week. I think tariffs and inflation and whatever. So I think that was it for today. And coming back to this one, my 2-week oscillation. You should notice one thing. My 4-week cycle is also showing the 2-week oscillation, and my 4-week cycle is suggesting this low is the most bearish low. However, for the past 6 months or so, the 4-week cycle has kind of changed or shifted. Now it's rather this mid-cycle low that is the most bearish one. Now I haven't recalculated this cycle for a very long time, so if I recalculate it, it will change the shape. Anyway, the next 2-week oscillation low is around next weekend, also supporting the expectation for this final C move to be late next week, most likely. So, hope that was helpful for you all, and have a nice weekend.